Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the RV Solar Channel. And today we're putting a giant system in a mini Rockwood RV here. So if you want to see how that happens, all the decision making that goes into it, all the equipment, how we make it fit, stick around, watch, and we'd love to show you. And let's start by looking at the solar that we're putting on top. And we got this guy up here putting it on there.
Yay!
He's a goofball, but we like him. Now, we do like him, yes, because well, one, he does a good job, but he's also my son, Levi. He's been the solar guy lately, getting it done up here.
Hola.
Yep. So, what do we got going up here, Levi?
Solar panels.
Solar panels, that's right. Looks like we're getting 1,000 watts up here. These are 250 watt panels. We love using these. We used to use 200 watt panels quite a bit, but these ones came out from Rich Solar and we just love them. These are what they call the 24 volt version, which really means they're just a normal solar panel. They output about 45 volts VOC, maybe a little bit more. That means you're working at, 30, 40 volts per panel. We put them in series, right?
Yep.
Series, and what does that do for us?
Makes sure one big panel.
One big panel, and that raises the voltage up to double. So 75, 80 volts, usually, sometimes in the low 60s. That's the magic of the MPPT charge controller. It figures out the right voltage to use. But when we have a high voltage, we can transmit power efficiently down to 10 gauge solar wires. And case in point, on this one, we put in a port right here. So that means 1,000 watts are going through those 10 gauge wires at only about 15, 16 amps, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. Levi's doing a great job up here, so we won't bug him too much. He's going to put, fasten all these down. We already did the layout. He did all the wiring. We also replaced the vent fan in here. It was very bad before. This is a much nicer model. Levi, you want to hand me one of those screws there that we're using? I want to talk about those again. Anyway, this is the type of screw that we're using these days. This is a metal roofing screw. It's got a little rubber grommet on there, but what I like most about it, it's got a lot of tooth. It doesn't self-tap. I've seen RV manufacturers use self-tapping metal screws, like the ones that hold everything else together in the RV. And for the most part, when you take off the panel, because we do that plenty of times, it just, like the screw doesn't even push itself up. This is the screw you should be using if you're doing this. And don't worry about leaks or putting extra holes in your roof. If you seal it up good, there's not a problem. And we seal it up good, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah, we do. All right. Back in there for first try. All right, I'm going to let him get back to work. Let's go downstairs, down these stairs, I guess, and show you how much battery we're putting in there, all the inverter stuff, that kind of stuff. Stick around. All right, inside here, this mini Rockwood, check this out. We're putting a lot of energy right here. Already did the measurements and actually made up the board. So we've been hard at work without you. I hope you're not upset. If you want to see how we put these boards together a little bit more, we've got some other videos on the channel. I'd recommend check those out. Or you can also subscribe to make sure you're seeing the new ones. See how I did that? Got you to subscribe there. You didn't even see it coming, did you? All right, we got 3 Epoch 300 amp hour batteries. The customer was originally thinking just 2, but why not? We got the room here and it's going to hold the battery up great. I'm going to build a little frame here to actually screw this top board into, and that's going to help hold the batteries down. So we're doing like a multi-purpose system here. I'm going to try and provide enough slack on the back, so if you wanted to pull the batteries out, the customer can do that easily. So stick around if you want to see how this evolves and actually gets installed. We are going to have to put some holes in here to run our main AC lines, and this is a single air conditioner RV, so that means 30 amp, 10 gauge wiring, which is not going to be too bad to run. So we're going to have an in and an out coming out of here, and then we're going to connect that to the electrical panel over there, which means running underneath the dreaded belly pan. We're going to have to do that. That's not fun. But, some of you eagle-eyed viewers out there are going to be saying, well, Shawn, that's my name, by the way. My name's Shawn. This is a lot of equipment in a tight space, and I definitely agree with you. We're going to put a fan here to suck all that hot air out, and and then we'll probably have an inlet somewhere else as well. Because yes, you're absolutely right. We have to keep this compartment cool. And that's our plan on how to do it. Oh, last little thing here. We already got the servo display mounted. And we ran the solar wires down through here. And we're going to have to go right on the floor there. We'll put a nice little cover on that. But with the curtain there, I don't think anybody's going to see it. That's the best practical way to do this, I think. And the TV is normally here, and this is up on the roof there where we showed earlier. That's where we made our hole. And actually, there was a factory hole in the insulation already there. We used our inspection camera to actually go up into that hole from, I think I took out this to get it up in there. And then I had Levi up on top, hold his hand on top, and I said, Levi, put your hand exactly where this camera's hitting. And then I just jammed the camera up to hit the roof, and then exactly where his finger was, that's where we drilled a hole, and it turns out that was right where it needed to be. So that worked out perfect. Doing these projects is kind of fun by yourself, but it's also fun with others. So I recommend, if you're going to be installing this, find a buddy, and at least if you screw up, you got somebody else to blame. All right, we're back inside here, and as you can see, we are starting to put more things together. We got some more battery cables run, and I did make this little support structure here to basically act as an anchor point for this board. We'll sink a couple of screws in here, and then it also is going to anchor the batteries in here, so they're not going to go anywhere. So that's all going to work really well. It's going to basically clamp them all down. And got the Multiplus mounted on another board here, and then I got a hole drilled there, and that was a little tricky because there's a water tank right under here. Well, but that far under. So we got plenty of room where we didn't actually hit the water tank or anything, but I ran as you can see, like a little tube that goes there, and then it pops out underneath. So we'll have that going here, but I do want to try and get this thing charging here so we can do some testing later on tomorrow. So that's kind of what my goal is here. Still haven't got solar hooked up or anything like that, but we did get our main AC line run. Levi did a lot of that. We ended up coming up through the hole that was already existing there. We just had to put a hole underneath here, and we came up right there near the gas line. We kind of followed the gas line all the way underneath here. And yeah, so you can kind of see where that... Yeah. Oh, I had a light in here. Oh, no, it's still there somewhere. But here's the... Well, it's hard to see, I suppose, but here's part of that hose. So that hose actually goes up through there. And then what we're going to do is put another hole in this underbelly to let the air come out. And I got a grate for that. We'll put on there a little vent cover. So it's coming along. Yes, sir. All right, we're hard at work here again. And we're doing the AC wiring hookup. And to show you how we're going to do that. On these 30 amp systems, what's really nice is we can use these combiners here. It's just like a brass terminal with 2 fasteners per line, and then a little cover that integrates over these. We found these on AliExpress. They might be on Amazon as well, but I've really been liking them. So you can see we got them both connected. And one side of this goes to the Multiplus input. And then this right here is the line that used to come into that panel. And this goes to the Multiplus on the input. And then this over here goes from the Multiplus. This is the output of the Multiplus, and it goes into the main breaker box here. And we're going to have Levi wire that in here. This is the first time I've had him do this, so he's going to learn along with you. Yes. You ready?
Yes.
You got your thinking hat on?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, get those covers put on there, but those just snap in there. I like to make sure that they stay secured, so I put a little bit of electrical tape around them, and I just saw this here. It's 3M. You know what 3M stands for?
No.
I think it's Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing. They're a Minnesota company. I bet you didn't know that. Yeah. So Levi was just asking actually about this. We got the our main wires pulled through the back, and he was just asking, because we taped these together, is it bad for them all to be touching? And the answer to that would be yes. We don't want those touching. And so we got 3 colors here on a 30 amp. You got your black, that's line. That comes from the power plant or your generator. Then you got the white, that's neutral. And that goes back to ground, to earth. And the bare copper is a secondary earth source, kind of a backup to the backup. Right? Yep. So if these two touch, it's not the end of the world, but we don't want those to touch until the pedestal. That's when that should touch. Now the Multiplus that's installed back there actually does a ground and neutral bond when we're on inverting power. But we're on shore power, it opens its ground neutral bond and lets that happen at the pedestal. So Levi, I'm going to let you wire this up as best you think you should. Where'd all these wires go?
Did you pull the original one out already?
Yeah.
Oh, that. Well, I'm taking there.
Yep.
And there.
Yep.
And there.
Yep.
Yep.
So there's one open breaker. You didn't see which one I pulled it off from, but there's one that says 30 amp here. That's where that one would go.
That's the one, man.
Yep. Levi's been watching too much YouTube shorts, I think.
What? No.
All right.
3 days later.
All right, Levi wants me to make sure these are good and tight, something I definitely recommend you do. Nope.
Don't flip that.
All right, that's good. That one's good. I even recommend pull on them with a lineman's plier. And when you do pull them a little bit, make sure you tighten them up again. But everything looks pretty good here. And the only other thing we were going to want to do is disconnect the power converter here. And what I recommend on this one, where it's actually wired in there, easiest way to go about it is this is the converter here, and you got your 3 lines coming out here. Find the black line, and it looks like goes into here. And if it's double landed, which it looks like it is, so that means we can't, or I think, let me look. It is double landed, but it's not using the other output. I don't know why they do this. Or do they? Yeah, they got this capped here. So, Levi, all we got to do is disconnect this one right here.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do that.
Okay. Which one?
You weren't paying attention? This one right here.
This one? Okay.
Yep. All right, let's pull that out. So that connects there. And let's just tape this up just to be doubly sure. And then the converter's disconnected. The reason why we want to disconnect the converter is because the Multiplus is a converter. A converter is just a fancy word for battery charger.
Give me the 3 Minnesota tape.
Yeah, the 3 Minnesota tape.
Yeah.
All right, so next we got to put that back in there. I got to keep eating this ice cream sandwich. And we got some more stuff to clean up in there, some stuff to show you. Stick around for sure. And we got Levi's solar job up top. He's going to show that off. It's looking real good, coming together. All right, things are coming together in here, as you can see. We got everything wired up. We got our Lynx distributor with the light on. Got our die-hole breaker mounted here. Got that subframe system that we got in here, so this ain't going anywhere. Batteries are secured all in one. Real nice, efficient system. I will admit, it doesn't look necessarily as pretty as a lot of ours end up looking, but it is very functional. It's a tight, compact space. I think this is about as good as it's going to get here, and I'm proud of it. So I guess that's all that matters, and hopefully the customer enjoys it. Again, we do got that cooling fan there, and it's doing its job right now. It's spinning, sucking out the hot air out of here. When we put that cover on there, it's going to suck all the hot air right out of it. And there is access to the pass-through bay over here. So between all the air leaks in there and everything, I think we're going to pull plenty of fresh air right out without having to add a second hole. I'll show you how that vents out the bottom here in a second. And but that's been working. We've been running the air conditioner now here for, geez, a while. And now it is inside our shop, so it's not pulling a ton of power, but yeah, it's been going for a while, and all the connections are nice and cool. That's really important. Always load test everything. And underneath here is where the vent is. So all the hot air from inside gets vented out right there. 1,000 watts on the Rockwood Mini Lite. All right, you can stop. And again, we did replace the vent on there. That went really well. And there's not room for a whole lot more with these 250 watt panels, but as you can see, they work real well. We're real proud of it. And I think they're gonna really enjoy it as well. And again, these are wired in sets of series, so 2, 1, 2 in series, 1, 2 in series, then we parallel them together. So that's the plan there. That's Bear down there. Levi's in the truck. And I'm Shawn, and this is what we do. We install solar on RVs, off-grid whatevers. You can see we even got a golf cart back there somewhere. Oh, it's covered up, but maybe you saw it earlier. We put solar on just about anything. So if you haven't already, subscribe. Consider leaving a comment if you had questions, or maybe we did something wrong and you think we can improve it. We are not above that. We are not the experts. We're just doing the best we can, and we're trying to make every install the best install we've ever done. And that's, I think, what we did here today. And if you need anything like this done to your RV or whatever you got, check us out at sotasolar.com. It's spelled like that. Yeah. Until then, we'll check you next time. Check out some of our back catalog. We got a lot of crazy stuff we've done. We'll see you next time.